This is 8 animals that regularly get drunk or high.
Ooh, I'm one of them. I used to be one of them.
Number one, American robins. Oh, and it says, and other berry eating birds. Fall is a fantastic time to be a robin or any other type of berry eating bird. Trees and bushes are full of berries on which the birds can gorge themselves. But as the fall days progress, as the fall days progress, some of the berries begin to rot and ferment, naturally developing a mild alcohol content. Birds don't have much of a sense of taste, so they don't care if the berries' best before date has flown by. But they do feel the alcohol. It's not unusual to see completely smashed birds staggering about around berry trees in the fall. It's even more funny when they try to take flight while hammered. You don't have to worry about the birds, though. They'll sleep it off and be fine in the morning. Um, I always wondered, because a lot of times birds will like fly into like windows and stuff, and I think that's mostly because like their vision, like it does something
Yeah,
where they can't see them. But now that
yeah.
I know this, it's like maybe there are some like drunken flying birds out there that are just like knocking into stuff because they can't fly
It's the
straight.
one that keeps running into the window that you gotta
Right.
drunk. Yeah.
Man, my parents' house back home in Montana, they get a lot of birds that hit their windows.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. I bet skyscrapers get those a lot.
Yeah, I would think so. That'd be
God, how
funny
many
if you.
single skyscraper? Are we wiping them out?
That would be funny if you had like an office job in a skyscraper and like birds just like keep running into your window. Let's see. Number two, fruit bats. I think this is going to be mostly like just animals that eat fruit.
Yeah, yeah.
Fruits can go off and turn alcoholic just like berries. And just like the birds, fruit bats consuming the fermented fruit will also imbibe any alcohol within. There's one crucial distinction between the leathery and feathery creatures, though. Whereas birds get helplessly drunk, fruit bats can hold their liquor. One study
Ooh.
from 2010 found South African fruit bats with blood alcohol content as high as 0.3%, flying around without much trouble. For reference, blood alcohol content of only 0.08% will get you pulled over for driving drunk. Curiously, though, it seems to be only American fruit bats that have a high alcohol tolerance.
Oh
Similar
yeah. Uh,
Similar bats from Egypt, for instance, have been found to get drunk and fly into things after eating fermented fruit.
hmm.
That is odd. I wonder if maybe the ones in America are just exposed to more rotten fruit, so they get build up more of a tolerance.
That makes sense. But why would the fruit here be more rotten than over there? I mean, like, doesn't it all go bad at the same time?
You
Maybe it
would
doesn't.
you would think so. Yeah, that is odd. Huh. Number three, wallabies. The island of Tasmania in Australia is the world's largest legal grower of opium poppy. Natural opium is used in medicine, and someone needs to grow the plants after all. But when food is scarce, Tasmania's wallabies wander into the poppy fields to eat the flowers, and these kangaroo like creatures are not immune to opium. Wallabies have been spotted hopping around poppy fields in circles while being high out of their minds. Eventually, animals crash and fall asleep right there in the field. What's weird is that wallabies aren't the only animals that start walking around the circles after ingesting opium. Sheep that got into the poppy fields do the same. Huh. Makes you walk in circles, apparently.
I guess everybody loves opium.
Number four, tree shrews. The pen-tailed tree shrew is a small mammal that lives in the jungles of Southeast Asia, and every night these little critters go out for beer. One of their primary food sources is the fermented nectar of the Bertram palm. The nectar can have an alcohol content as high as around 4%, roughly equal to your usual light beer. The tree shrews aren't satisfied with just one drink either. When adjusted for body weight, the amount they consume each night is about equivalent to a person drinking 10 glasses of wine. Yet
Mm.
somehow the tree shrews don't get drunk. Their ability to metabolize alcohol is so strong it baffles researchers. That is odd. Imagine if you could drink 10 glasses of wine and not get drunk. Like,
They're like, was that Captain America?
right, right.
That sucks, man.
That is odd because, yeah, like, comparatively, that is a ton of alcohol they're drinking, and they're not
Yeah.
getting. They can metabolize it that way. That's actually pretty interesting.
I mean, I bet it, like, humans, we used to drink alcohol a lot because the water was so unsafe to drink. So actually, alcohol helped us survive in like times where we didn't have clean water. I imagine this might be similar for them.
Maybe. Yeah, you never know. Man, that is like a bad thing. Like the water's like so bad that drinking like old alcohol is like better.
Hmm.
Number 5, dolphins.
Sorry, I just got to interrupt.
Oh, go
In
ahead.
in France, they had like sewage water in their water. It was like, yeah, that stuff, and they would cook with it and everything. And like they finally switched to like clean water or cleaner water. I don't know. And the people complained so much because it didn't taste the same. The food didn't taste the same, stuff like that. Yeah.
We want that doo doo water.
Yeah.
That's funny. Number 5, dolphins. Dolphins are usually depicted as playful, friendly sea creatures, even though they're everything but. The marine mammals love to assault and murder, and they also do drugs. Their favorite intoxicant is pufferfish poison. Groups
Oh
of
yeah.
dolphins have been seen nosing and scraping pufferfish with their teeth to get high off their poisonous secretions. Not only that, they pass the poor pufferfish around like a group of college students smoking a joint. Yet, just as human drug users, junkie dolphins play a lethal game. A pufferfish produces more than enough toxins to kill a dolphin, and going too hard at it may prove fatal to the dolphin. This is actually
Ooh.
one that I've heard of before.
Yeah, I think I've heard of
It's
this.
a very weird, but yeah, the old pufferfish. Number 6, reindeer. Everybody knows reindeer pull Santa's sleigh around the world, but outside of Christmas time, Rudolph likes to chow down on some magic mushrooms. Reindeer in Siberia often eat Amanita muscaria, that is fly agaric. They probably don't do it on purpose, but reindeer that happen to consume enough of the toxic shrooms will begin to hallucinate. Native Siberian shamans noticed this and also began to consume fly agaric during their rituals. That or they drank the reindeer's urine since their digestive system filters out the poison and leaves only the good stuff in the pee. What a harmonic hallucinogenic coexistence between man and beast. Now, AJ, you've thought about doing mushrooms. Have you thought about going to Siberia and drinking reindeer piss?
It's a new idea. Take some thought and consideration, but I'm leaning towards maybe.
Number 7, bees. Worker bees consume nectar and transfer it back to the nest for honey production. And as we learned from the tree shrews, fermented nectar can be alcoholic, which may lead to the bees getting drunk. Beekeepers and researchers have seen bees get so wasted they can't find their way back to the nest and have to wait until they sober up. If they manage to stagger their way home, though, they're in for a bad time. You see, bee society doesn't approve of public drunkenness. Depending on the hive, worker bees that show up drunk can get punished or even killed. Nicotine,
Ooh,
however, is perfectly okay among bees. In fact, the bugs seem to have a preference for nectar from nicotine producing plants. Man, who studies it's weird that we study like bees enough that we would actually like see this like, oh, we can see this bee's getting drunk, and we can see when he goes back to the hive like the other bees have a problem with it.
I used to watch a lot of those National Geographic shows when I was a kid, and like I was amazed by how they caught the most interesting, weirdest scenarios on those cameras. Like, they watched those animals and insects for months, maybe years to catch that footage. Like the dedication it takes to learn this stuff is just amazing to me. The Aztecs, in their society, you also couldn't publicly be drunk. I don't know if you could drink in public at all, and they would also like potentially kill you for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they would still drink. They just
Yeah,
did it just did it in private. And then finally, number 8, the vervet monkeys. The Caribbean islands, like Barbados, are famed for their rum, but it's not just humans who like the sweet brown liquor. Local vervet monkeys on multiple Caribbean islands have developed a taste for alcohol as a result of their alcohol industry. They love stealing fermented sugar cane and getting wasted by chewing it. Most
Ooh,
of
sugar
them
cane.
Most
So
of the
good.
monkeys are social drinkers who like to get buzzed with their friends. However, researchers have found that around 5% of Caribbean vervet monkeys are raging, barely functional alcoholics who will drink themselves to death if given unrestricted access to booze. If these alcoholic monkeys can't find sugar cane, they will resort to other means of getting their fix, such as stealing cocktails from beach going tourists.
Yeah. Monkeys do steal a lot from tourists. Like I think I've seen videos where they like steal your phone and then you have to give them a banana to get the phone back from them.
Oh,
Like they're
wow.
yeah.
It would be a good story to say, like, "Oh, I got my drink stolen by a monkey."
Yeah, that's true.
Man, I remember we
But
did that story on the podcast like forever ago, where there was like cities where like monkeys were like taking over and they were like killing people's dogs
stealing,
and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, man. I I don't like monkeys, man. They're
yeah,
jerks.
yeah. That
They're
would
just
I,
power.
I would be scared if I lived in a place like that.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you had little kids, you they could never be out by themselves. You know.
And I mean they're stronger than they look, right? Like I
Oh yeah,
know they can rip your flesh off your bones. Like they got a good grip.
I think they're pretty tough. Yeah.